Boom! Good morning! Hey, we're back in the nostalgic saddle again, and I'm chomping at the bit. And I know my friend across the camera is chomping at the bit as well. Johnny Anderson, he's just chomping. Oh, I just talked to him for a few seconds in the green room, and he's hopping. He's ready to rock and roll. He had a rest and recovery day yesterday. What does a guy like John do on the day off? I'm suspecting he doesn't have his feet up on the couch, a bag of Cheetos on his chest, just Netflixing it out all day. I'm suspecting that's not what Anderson's up to. Nope. We're going to ask him today what he does on his days off. We also are going to get into rethinking your mindset, transforming from an employee to a successful entrepreneur, or in today's world, we call them solopreneurs. So that's coming up on the show. Of course, digging into life lessons from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Going to dig into that. We've been talking about that all week. And we got guest Matthew Biggar, and we have Christina Flynn joining us in the show today. I know Christina's figured out the audio, so we are going to get that sorted out as well. And of course, we have Marty Fit, who's getting his food ready because the boy's got to eat. He's a young growing boy. He's got to get his food ready. So he's getting the food ready. I want to welcome Anderson onto the stage. What's going on, Johnny? What's going on?
Good morning, brother. It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. Hey, Christina, I'm on ARC as well, and so I'm not sure why you're having. Oh, you know what, Christina? You might have actually muted your icon there on the right hand side. Maybe I'm not sure, but I'm running the ARC browser as well. Anyways, boom, Johnny, how are you, man?
I'm good, brother. Rest day yesterday, so I'm like full speed, ready to go. My training session can't come fast enough.
Oh, I love to hear that. Mornings in the lab, Keith, Marty, Fit, John Anderson. Of course, this is the place where we build business athletes. People like So Young Park, who we celebrated yesterday, Ivan Pollock, who we celebrated a couple days ago, Johnny Anderson, Christopher Martin, Walter Thomas, hanging out in the mornings in the lab feed there over on LinkedIn. He's out chatting with all of you guys over there. But Johnny, I got to ask you, man. Like what's a guy like do on a day off? Like what is a rest and recovery? You're up early. We do the show early. You get your ass to bed in the morning, and then the show's over around 6:30 Pacific time. Holy smokes, eh?
Yeah, 6:30.
People are still sleeping, and you're finishing your first job of the day. And then what's the rest of your day look like, Johnny?
Well, first, and you heard me preach this. I'm a big connoisseur, and every day is the same. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just that I wake up at 3:00. Obviously because of the show, I get up a little earlier now, but I wake up at 3:00 every day, whether it's a rest day or not, whether we're doing the show or not. Yeah. So on day off for me, all that means is a day off from lifting heavy stuff.
Yes.
I'm going to be active.
Yes.
I'm just, there's something about getting up and getting the day started, like right out of bed. We're talking 3 and change. I'm jumping on a rebounder. And it just gets my blood pumping. It's good for the lymph system. I get off of there and I feel great. It's just 5 minutes, So no matter what my day is, there's a day off. When I say off, it just means I'm not going to lift up heavy stuff. So I went for a walk around the lake yesterday to answer your question.
I want to get into that. I want to get into the lifting heavy stuff here. But hey, Marty Anderson. So, I got to tell you something, Johnny. I've known Chris now for, 6 months, 7 months. The guy's never been late for a date. Yeah, he's never been late for a date. And then, look. Oh, and we got the guy popping his bottle of water, his soda water.
What was that? What was it?
You're muted, Marty. You're muted.
Hold on. Let's get this settled. I wasn't late. I was the first one in here. Let's throw that on the table first.
Hold on. Right. Hold on. You mean you showed up to the locker room? You were there first one in the locker room, but when the game started, you were still in the locker room.
Hey, listen, man. I was here. And like, if I'm here at game time and I decide to go use the bathroom, hey, it's not my fault.
Oh, I love it, boys. I love it. Christopher Martin joining us here in the lab this morning. Man, I love it. And of course, Marty, I wanted to wait. I knew you were getting ready. Hey, man, we got to find things to tease about. But because I don't have an eel up any guy's butt this morning to tease about. So
don't start that today. We're not starting that today.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good
off of that conversation. That's crazy.
I'm good with keeping the back door closed today,
But I did want to wait. Till Marty showed up because we have, of course, gentlemen, And I love how Johnny's used to this now. Johnny's like, hey, man, I missed my sports book bet yesterday because Enzo wasn't around.
Enzo, come on, man. Shit. I was ready.
Yes. Hey, Marty, I asked John what he does on his day off, and Enzo's response, he goes paddleboarding. Because we all saw the picture of the beach.
I paddleboarded last day off. Absolutely. I might do that. It's an activity.
I thought John
it's an activity where I don't lift heavy stuff.
I thought John eats Cheetos on his day off and sits on the couch.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I do? I eat my Cheetos in the locker room just after the game started.
Oh man, here you guys go.
That's good. So listen, we got a brand new repeat guester, and we got an absolute commenter. This human's been on the comments on the YouTube feed, and I am super grateful for that, because when you comment, Martin, you like, Marty, you share, Marty, or what's the other one? Follow. The YouTube algo likes that.
YouTube, subscribe on YouTube.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're still working on them.
Oh, good time. Good to see you here this morning. And then Good Time's coming back with this one, Johnny. Yeah, exit only, because Good Time was part of the chat yesterday. So yes, we know how that works. And of course, Ken is joining us as well. Good morning, Kenetsky. Marty, guess who showed up here today?
Kenetsky,
yeah, Kenetsky's here. Yes, Chris Martin is a popular name lately. We have one in the House of Bricks. Boys, I'm proud to say Adam was on the show yesterday, Adam House, and Adam exited the show. You know what? And I was so moved by his appearance, gentlemen. Like, I mean, moved. Like, I sat back, I reflected, and I said to myself, I enjoyed my conversation with Adam. I'm going to pull up my visa, and I'm going to join the House of Bricks. So there we go. The Business Athlete Performance Lab, Mornings in the Lab, Keith Billis, and by proxy, John Anderson and Christopher Martin, C. Marty. We are now in the House of Bricks, gentlemen.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
We'll take it.
It. So I know that I'm paying for one membership, but Adam, come on, man, you're getting a 3-for-1 special here. So
we're a package deal.
Marty, damn rights we are.
So we're the big three.
We are the big three, and maybe like a big four, because I we're looking for a producer for the show.
Yeah.
We're looking for somebody to help us three boys get unlost. So and she's shaking her head in the green room right now. She left me some notes last night. I'm thinking we might want to read them on the air today, because she was she offered some commentary, Marty and Johnny, on this show this nostalgic show we're creating. So Christina Flynn, not Christopher Keach. No, bro. Keach is hanging out in Los Angeles right now.
You know, Keach was here yesterday.
Was he? Did you see him?
Nah, I was on the show. He had to go to the airport after the show, so he wasn't close enough.
I gotcha. Of course, we got Inam here this morning. Inam, what's going on, my friend? I said your name correctly. And Good Time's got a question for Johnny. What time do you go to bed at night if you're up this early, Johnny?
Well, that's a great question. So I not only have I not only have an alarm to wake up, I have an alarm to go to bed. So I go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
And in many cases, I'm asleep by 8 o'clock, because I'll usually get in bed. What's that?
I thought you don't sleep.
No, I actually do sleep. You know, I know sometimes when you look at me, you think I'm not a mere mortal, but it's unfortunately I am.
I didn't think you had any weaknesses. I didn't think you got tired or anything like that.
Well, as we go back to the superhero thing, I would be Superman if that was the case. Does Superman sleep? I know Batman, he hides in that cave a lot, doesn't he?
Batman gets his sleep, yeah. Batman gonna wake up at like noon.
Boys, I thought we weren't talking about caves. We talked about caves yesterday when it came to eels and caves.
Different kind of cave, brother.
That's crazy.
Different kind of cave.
And we have Christina, our pseudo producer this morning, sitting off in the lab going, "Oh my God, is he actually bringing that joke up again here?" Yes, I am.
Did she hear the joke?
Oh, she can hear the joke. Yeah, I don't know if she can talk. So nice. You know what I love, Marty?
No, I'm saying, did she hear the joke from yesterday?
I think so. We had a 30-minute conversation yesterday, Marty, that turned into a 2-hour conversation. I think I may have brought it up because I'm like, hey, if you're gonna hang out with us, you need to kind of understand some of the conversation that comes up in the lab. Or in the case of yesterday, get stuck in the cave.
Well, look, Christina, just know me and John aren't bringing these topics to the table. Just know that. I didn't wake up in the morning like, yeah, let's talk about eels and sticking an eel up there. That's not what I wake up thinking about.
Christina looks like she's got some thick skin, so I think we're going to be okay. And I say that with love, Christina. So
okay, so listen, we're sitting here talking about Christina, and we can see her in the. Isn't it awesome? Hey, when we're on stage, you're like, I can see that person over there, but they can't say anything. So why don't we take a moment, nation? And hold on, I got to go over to Enzo here because Enzo's been with us since day one. Enzo. We are going to introduce our new friend this morning, Christina with a K. And she's not ready because I think she's talking to somebody else off camera. And she's like, I got to get ready because they're going to bring me onto camera right now. And we are going to take a second. And Jimmy, I'm going to get the vertical, Jimmy. You're going to bring the horizontal, and we're going to do this. Christina with a K. Hi, Christina with a K.
There she is.
Oh, and her audio is still not working at the moment. Yeah, so I know she's cussing up a storm right now.
She just cussed. She definitely just cussed.
So we're gonna
saw that.
So she's fitting in extremely well. So we're gonna
she's gonna be okay.
Fits in perfectly.
We got Adam with. I'm bringing the family with. I have 35 first cousins. Be warned, Adam. Not that you bring your house full stuff. Adam, I don't know what that's about, and I don't know if I want to know. Oh, the House of Bricks. Yes, yeah. Yesterday's show. Yeah, Adam. Hey, listen, I'm bringing my family with me, and but hey, I'm Adam House. I'm bringing some strong pillars. If anything, boys, we are bringing some strong pillars to Adam's house. We got Anderson's shoulders. We got Marty's shoulders. We got Marty's six pack. Man, we are just bringing it. Good time.
So who's the weak link out of the three? Who's the weakest link?
I guess it depends on what venue we're talking about here.
We got to choose one, Keith.
I'm not.
Got to choose.
I'm looking around and I can't find that person.
Okay, good. The good answer.
Let's see. We know that he's highly advanced in the entrepreneur world. Sold a company for $50 million. And yesterday he proclaimed to be a bodybuilder that picked up heavy shit. So I guess we gotta, we know we can validate one, but we're still working on the validation of the other.
Okay. Let's just be clear on something here, Anderson. I never said I was a bodybuilder. I said I lifted up heavy shit.
Roll back to tape.
No, you said bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And he tried to say it so smooth too, like we weren't going to catch it. Like
you rolled that.
Me and John are 50-year-old bodybuilders, huh?
Oh man.
Yes, we heard that.
That's like me trying to slide it on Marty that I can play basketball. Man, he'd just light me up like a Roman candle.
Yeah, I wouldn't let that slide.
Oh man, you know what's funny is we talk so much on the show. Like I was doing some post-production yesterday and I was cutting up a clip and I was like, oh, did I actually say that? Oh, I don't remember saying that, but I guess I said that. So it's funny because Marty, you do a lot of live shows, and Johnny, you're getting used to this every single day stuff. Like you talk so much, you're like, okay, the week's gone by. I just talked for 10, 15 hours, and oh, did I say that on Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning? It's just kind of crazy, right? So
well, the good thing about that, brothers, we get older, our recall slows down a little bit, so we can always blame it on that.
Thanks, Johnny. Oh man, listen, I love all the comments coming in here from the commentary. So I'm going to do the best that I can to get through the show. We're going to it's clear that we're going to need to be extending our shows here, gents, because folks are joining in, and which I'm really loving it. Find it easier to get things done in the morning than at night. I'm with you. Good time. I'm certainly advancing with it. Adam, yes, I'm a smooth talker. I'm like Sade. I had some Sade on this morning in the gym, believe it or not. And then what do you get when you cross goat DNA with human DNA kicked out of the petting zoo?
Oh
man,
God.
I got my first question is who in the hell was weird enough to try to cross that DNA?
Keith probably could find the article. He probably figured out.
You hear that joke, officer. I was just helping that goat over the fence.
Oh, that's it. And of course we got Enzo Of course we got the guy from the future offering comments. Yes, Enzo. He said bodybuilder. Enzo, thank you. Yes. Yes.
Enzo knows.
Yeah, nothing beats the pole joke, and that's for sure. We know. So Enzo's right on here from day one, man. Enzo's all over the place. Hey, listen. So let's try. Oh man,
Enzo was on the show last night too.
Enzo. Oh, was he?
On my show, yeah.
Dude, Enzo, you're all over the place. Hey, Johnny, so Enzo's been on Marty's show, but have you been on?
Well, come on, man.
No, not as a guest. Not as a guest.
Marty,
You're going to be a guest.
Marty, John's sleeping by the time your show starts.
straight big league me, bro. You know, what is it? What have I got to do?
Man. I got you, man. You'll be on there. I promise you. I promise you that. I promise.
Oh man. Okay, guys. So listen, I'm looking at the clock, and I said to myself last night before I went to bed, yes, I'm going to try to be a little more diligent with our time so that people know when stuff's dropping. So here today, we're going to drop our accountability check-in here in about in the next minute. So John can step away and go and get rid of some of the water. We're going to come back at the bottom of the hour. Around the bottom of the hour, Marty's going to drop the C-Fit tip of the day. And then around the 47-minute of the hour, Johnny's going to come back with a lifestyle tip. So every 15 minutes or so, the goal here is to drop something with all of us standing on stage and saying, hey, look at me, I got something for you. So, and then while we're doing that, we're going to bring Christina on the stage as well. And I think Matt Biggar is joining here in a few minutes as well. Wow, the show's just rocking and rolling along here. And we got Tangerine joining us from Manila. What a shaking Tangerine. Oh, man, love having you in here on the show here. We got Biggar in the green room. We got Jesse with some laughter over on the side. So let's do this, guys. I'm going to hop on over to the accountability check-in, and we're then going to come back, bring in Christina. We're going to bring in Matt. And I'll tell you all right now, Nation, we aren't going to get to the entire show because we got a lot of fun happening right now, but that is okay. So, Jimmy, I'm going to get on over to the vertical feed. You're going to go to the horizontal feed. John's going to step away. Marty's going to step away. And I'm going to do... Oops, no, not that one. I'm going to do this. All right. Good morning, Nation. It's this point in the show where we just get into some things for you to think about. And we call it the accountability check-in. It's here where we invite you to think about what might move you to get your day started. And the question I have for you is this right now today. Or the comment, the statement I would make is this. Follow your passion. That's what they all say. They're like, yeah, follow your passion, Billis. Go just follow your passion. Just go and do it. Really? Is that really realistic? I don't know. Here's the truth. Most follow your passion posts, we see them social media, X and LinkedIn. Everybody's like, oh yeah, follow your passion. It's gonna lead you to riches. I'll tell you a secret. All of those follow your passion posts, they come from all of those who've already made it. Oh yeah, we're all just going to the gym, doing cold baths first thing in the morning because we've already made it. Most people, I know you. I've been there. I wasn't born with the silver spoon. I like you was just getting by for a big part of my life. Putting food on the table. I know it's a priority. Go follow your passion. What the hell are you talking about? Go follow your passion. I got to feed my kids, you're saying. Yeah, the message is coming from somebody who has the money. The message is coming from somebody who can explore their own interests. But most people that are tuning into this show, I know you're just trying to get by. I know all of you have many interests, and I have many of them. And it's hard to pinpoint that single passion. So if you can't follow your passion, what's the alternative? Work for the lifestyle you want. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So whether it's an entrepreneur, solopreneur, or working for the best damn employer on the planet, I invite you. Find your passion. See work as a tool to build the freedom. Freedom, perhaps, to explore your passions later, if they're not today. If the passion today is I got to put food on the table for my family, awesome. Because when your goal becomes an ideal life instead of a specific career, that world of possibilities, Nation, can open up for you. The bottom line, here's the bottom line. There's more than one way to build the life that you want. So the next time you see that post, oh yeah, go become the solopreneur, go become the entrepreneur, go and change the world. Be curious, have some adventure, and do this. Find what interests you, not what somebody else thinks what should interest you. That is our accountability check-in. Yeah, that's it. Good time. Spend less or make more. That's it. Johnny Anderson coming back up here in the lab. See Marty Fit. And we're going to try this, Jimmy. We're going to bring Christina up. Christina.
Uh-oh.
There she is.
All right. So now we do have some presents. So we're going to have headphones in your ears.
We will try, folks.
Yeah, we're gonna do that so we can get some headphones in the ears and eliminate the echo. And we are all good to go. So I'm gonna do and then Matt Biggar. I know Matt, you're hanging tight in the green room, and I appreciate that. You hang tight, my friend. We're running a few minutes not behind. Christina.
How are we?
There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yes.
Oh, real quick. Y'all talked for 2 hours yesterday and y'all ain't figured this out?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I had the same trouble, Christina.
You know what? We spent a good 45 minutes going through audio settings and trying to figure this shit out.
Oh, that's the Joe Anderson trick.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Christina Flynn joins us from Toronto, Canada. I met Christina yesterday on LinkedIn, and we had an awesome conversation about doing some work together. She's a personal branding expert, a very, very exceptional career behind her, and we had some coffee, and I said, hey, why don't you come join the show? Come hang out with myself and Johnny and Marty and Matt here, because Christina's also somebody, guys, who went from having a job who all of a sudden is like, no, I'm going to go make a solopreneur. So she's also a great part of the conversation today with Matt Biggar, coming up with this whole idea of going from job to solopreneur. And as I said, my accountability check-in, it doesn't matter what you choose. You got to try and find something that's your passion. So we have Regan Chindu joining us from I'm not sure. So thanks for joining us here this morning. Good time coming in with some humor as well. And of course, I want to see with Enzo. Yes, we got Enzo coming in with some Olympic cheating. I haven't seen that yet, Enzo. So, but Christina, how are you? Welcome to the lab. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. This is great. You mentioned feedback that I provided. I'm going to add less dad jokes to that list.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, you got a couple dads here on the show here. So, and we got Tangerine starting to love the channel. Hey, Tangerine, the best thing you can do right now is you can like it, you can subscribe to it, you can share it with your friends, or you can even leave a comment like Good Time does. Good Time's great with the pounds, man. So,
good job, Keith.
Thanks, Marty. Yeah, I did pretty good with that, eh? So,
Christine, I got a list of dad jokes for you too that you haven't seen. They're bad. He's going to try to, since you didn't hear them, he's going to try to recycle them. And so I'm going to try to prevent that from happening.
Hey.
I would love to see that. Although, dad jokes, don't make me bring in my mom jokes, because I don't think y'all are ready for those.
I think mom jokes are better than dad jokes, though.
I'm
a mama's boy to the core, so I don't know. Don't talk about
mom jokes are better than dad jokes. Yeah.
Hey, you got it. So I don't know about you, Anderson, but I have one little daughter that laughs at my jokes still. It's my 8-year-old bonus daughter. My other kids, though, your kids are older now, so I don't know. Maybe your granddaughter's laughing at your jokes, but I got one kid that laughs at my jokes. The rest look at me like Christina does. Like, who the hell is this guy?
Brother, I'm not good at jokes. I'll be honest. It's like I'm good at dropping these little clever things to say, but you're not gonna. Okay, there was 3 guys. You got an American, you got a Polish guy, you got a Russian. That's not me. And when someone says, hey, I want to tell you a joke. You know what my response is?
Oh,
no.
We know Anderson's lane, Marty. We know the lane that Anderson's in, and I love that he knows his lane as well. That is exceptional, man. I know Matt Biggar has dad jokes. We're gonna maybe I'll ask Matt for a dad joke here in a little bit when we bring him up.
That's cool. We can do that.
Before we bring Matt in, though, I want to take a few moments to dig into Christina. And Christina, take a few moments to tell John, myself about yourself. You're from Toronto. Who's Christina Flynn?
Who's Christina Flynn? I'm misfit toy. You know what I mean? Like, especially when it comes to career, I've had one of those winding, spirally careers that most people would look at and say it's a nightmare. And I've learned to love. I started my career in the NBA, working with the Toronto Raptors, doing a lot of personal branding for the players, the coaches, the executives, and then got the entrepreneurial bug. And I got really excited and I started tinkering, and I built a lot of solutions for problems that nobody had, wasted a fuck ton of money, and then kind of decided to keep at that. So I started my own company. I did that for 3 years. We bootstrapped, and then COVID hit. And as I admitted to you yesterday, Keith, like, it was failing anyways, but I love to be able to say, like, wrong, COVID, sales cycle, sorry, we got to shut down shop. And then I found Web3. And I went deep into that. And ever since, I've been building my own brand online, really just based in my own personal story.
That's awesome. Hey, boys, I love that. I love that Christina's a mom, and we're 30 minutes into the show, and she's already dropping F-bombs. So we know how she parents her kids first thing in the morning over breakfast. She's like, kids, eat fucking cereal, man. You got to eat fucking cereal.
There's one rule. You don't swear at people.
Well, when I was brought on the show, he's like, hey, we're live. Watch your lip. Yeah, but it brings you in and just lets you cut it loose. That's an honor, Christina.
Really is.
You know what's crazy? When I first met Keith, when I got on the show, I said, "Can I cuss?" And he goes, "Oh, F yeah."
Well, yeah. So are we cussing or not on the show? I guess we might fucking be cussing because we have the new girl on the show and she's dropping bombs. Hey boys, we got the mom on the show. So now that we have mom's giving us permission to F bomb. So if mom says it's okay, I'm thinking that it's okay to take some F bombs.
That's
All
cool.
right,
I think
so
it's okay.
We're changing our vibe. Okay.
That's
okay.
it. That's it. So Adam's got a fucking question here. What does a branding strategist do? What does a typical workday encompass? And I'm sorry to all my children, Jess, Chad. I know that Ruby and Nash are listening. Ruby, I love you, kid. Nash, I love you, kid. Your mom and dad say the same thing that I say. Trust me, I've heard them say it. But what does a branding strategist do, Christina? And what does a typical workday encompass besides sitting with Uncle Keith for 2 hours?
Oh God, yeah. Thank God there's other things going on than just that. But basically, coaching consultant. So I'm all about building a brand based on your personal story. You hear the word authentic a lot. Really, authentic to me means who are you as a person? Who raised you? Where in the world were you raised? What was your personality like? What were your career experiences, your educational experiences? And how does that all come together to really tell a unique and interesting story about who you are? So I help people to discover that and then figure out how do you articulate that in a way that makes sense for whatever audience you want to reach.
Boys, questions for Christina.
So it sounds like it's literally like the foundation is authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And think about that's something I think that a lot of people, when they're trying to get started, they think, oh man, how do I want to appear? It's like they're creating a look when realistically they just need to shine the light on themselves. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, the challenge, and I experienced it myself, was a lot of people don't know who they are, especially people that are coming out of corporate that have been in a machine for a really long time. A lot of my clients are going, I thought I knew my mission. I thought I knew what I was about, but I realized that was the company's mission. That was what they were about. And so now I'm trying to sell myself. Now I'm trying to get paid as an individual. I don't know who authentic me is. And so how do you uncover the layers to figure that out so people can just present themselves a lot more confidently? And it's a lot of what I went through when I was in Web3. I worked really hard to build a personal brand, but I built it around an industry I didn't control, a platform I didn't control, and a PFP that I was rocking. It had nothing to do with me. When everything went to shit, all of a sudden everything I had built went away. And so I said, when I'm going to do it again, I'm going to build it around me to make sure that this actually grows and evolves with me.
I think that's exceptional, Christina. I know I'm a personal brand. I love the idea of personal branding. I believe strongly in the concept, and it fascinates me, Christina, that companies largely still don't get that. And what I mean by it is that, a company with a group of humans that all have strong individual brands, strong personal brands, makes the company stronger. So if I think about the lab, I got a strong John Anderson, I got a strong C. Marty Fit, I got a strong Christina Flynn, I got a strong Keith Billis. Man, you put those pillars underneath the lab, that lab becomes much more stronger. And I think that's maybe a shift, or would you say that is a shift happening in business today, where companies are recognizing that the stronger their human personal brands are, the stronger that the company is? Christina?
Not quickly enough, to be honest. Like, I think there's still a real scarcity mindset around if somebody who works for me is drawing attention away from the company or the corporation, then that's going to draw attention towards that individual's thing, without the realization that if people are having a human connection with somebody who is connected to your brand, your distribution channel all of a sudden has tenfold, fivefold, whatever it is, based on the people that you have in your company. So it's a scarcity mindset. You're seeing the people that are companies being led by people that get it and have their own personal brands and see the value of that. It's also a value prop for employers to be able to say, listen, I want you to build your brand. I want to give you platform. I want to give you resources. Whether you use them here or whether you use them in their next job, like the best leaders say, great. I don't care. But while you're here, I'm going to give you what you need to be able to sustain yourself in the future.
Yeah, we're talking personal branding with Christina Flynn, who runs a personal branding agency out of Toronto, Canada. We're coming at the bottom of the hour here. Coming up in the next 2 minutes, we got C. Marty with C. Marty Fit Tip. I'm going to jump into a couple comments here. Good Time is loving our conversation. Of course, thank you, Good Time. Tangerine, who recently, Marty, subscribed and hit the like button. Thank you very much. Tangerine's coming with a comment saying interesting. And I got to put this one up here, boys. But Umar is like, yes, love watching the streams. Very informative and unique. My question is, what techniques to break into the golden showers market? Well, I'll tell you, my friend. What you need to do is you need to take your daughter. You need to go to some dirty porta potty. You need to hang your daughter over the dirty porta potty and go, oh my God, why is she peeing all over me? And then you recognize there's a business idea there. And then what you say to yourself, oh, I'm going to set up a classy outdoor restroom business like our friend David Sowers did at Royal Restrooms, changing the world across the United States, giving people clean, exceptionally clean, Marty, restroom experiences so you can take your little daughter to the restroom and have a good bathroom experience. And of course, Flya Fisha is jumping in with good morning, everybody. I appreciate that. So I was waiting for Marty to jump out with something. Hey, it's a true story, man. We had David Sowers on the air here. We're talking golden showers. It's been one of our most highly viewed clips. Yeah, and if you don't like golden showers, change the channel. Go somewhere else. I think it's not a bad thing to do. That's how we're going to roll here in the lab. And how we're going to roll is we're going to do this. We're going to go, and I'm going to keep this on to time, Jimmy. Yeah, I'm going to keep this on to time. We're going to come back with Matt Biggar. Matt Biggar's going to come back after the break. Marty's going to do his fit tip, and we're going to keep the conversation going. Marty, you're up next, pal.
Let's do it. All right, we got the fitness tip for today. Let's get into it. 5 weightlifting myths you can ignore and why. There's a lot of myths when it comes to weightlifting, so let's talk about it. Weightlifting makes you bulky. Absolutely not true. Building significant muscle mass requires specific training and diet. For most people, weightlifting will tone and define muscles without adding bulk. Myth number 2, you shouldn't lift weights every day. With proper planning, you can lift daily, focus on different muscle groups to allow recovery and prevent overtraining. Obviously, with that, you have to have some rest days. So if you, out of 7 days a week, if you want to lift 5 and rest 2, absolutely fine. Myth number 3, weightlifting is bad for your joints. Proper form and technique in weightlifting can actually strengthen the joints and connective tissues, reducing the risk of injuries. Don't be scared to lift. Myth number 4, cardio is better for fat loss. Absolutely not true. Weightlifting boosts metabolism and builds muscle. This can help burn more calories at rest. Combining weightlifting with cardio maximizes fat loss. Women should lift lighter weights. That's not true. Women benefit from lifting heavy weights just like men. It helps build strength, improve bone density, and achieve a toned physique. Ignore these myths, embrace the facts, embrace the science, and see better results. That's the fitness tip for today.
Dropping some fit tips to keep you thinking every single day here. Around the bottom of the hour is the ambition. Myself, John Anderson, Christopher Martin, Christina Flynn, and of course, this boy is back for his second appearance in the lab. It is, of course. There's the guy there. There is Matt Biggar. What's going on, Matt?
What's up, guys?
Matt,
I'm
how
surprised
are
you can
Matt?
fit 5 of us on the screen at the same time.
You're on the screen on the same time. This is the first time we've done 5, and so the whole ambition here on the show is to have a come and go party, have people dropping and coming all the time, and we're excited to have you here, Matt. I appreciate you jumping in here over the last couple of days. Said, hey, we got a topic we want to talk about, and I'll be truthful, Matt. I thought of you right away.
Sweet.
You're thinking, oh, really? Yeah, I'm the guy that went from I got the good paycheck every 2 weeks to my family going, Dad, what the hell are you doing now?
And to be honest, I don't have kids, so no dad jokes. I just have dry puns, which I won't apologize for.
There you go. So the family in your life, the folks in your life are saying, Matt, what the hell are you doing now? Right? That's where it's coming from.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been at this since 2017, so I think that it's kind of worked out of their system by now.
Yeah, that's good. But I want to get into the conversation when you made the shift. We're going to get into that in a little bit in a few moments here. We certainly got some more comments coming in from the lab here, guys. We got Umar, who's liking our commentary. Big Daddy Johnny comes up and says, I bought the Celtic Salt and bought the
Don't
kids.
read that. Don't read that.
There you go. We're not going to read that. I literally pulled it up here. I didn't have.
Don't read that.
I appreciate that.
Look at Marty. I love it. Marty's policing it. He's policing the comments before Keith gets there.
I'm just quickly going to read them, and Tanger's thanking us for the commentary, which is awesome. So, Matt, you're joining us from Alberta today, are you not?
Yeah, not for long though. I'm in the middle of a move right now.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, we're packing up and we're moving to BC. Actually, there's more trees and forests and lakes there.
There you go. What's precipitating the move, Matt?
Mostly just a lifestyle change. There's a principle that I work with my clients, and I tell everyone this: congruence is your compass, and it's founded upon the Japanese principle of ikigai.
Yes,
but it's bringing everything in your life into alignment. And for me, I am drawn to spend time in nature. We love doing disc golf on the weekends, and Calgary's kind of a city that's in the middle of a big field that has Rocky Mountains in the backdrop.
Yes.
So we want to be able to get out of the city and spend more time in nature, doing stuff like paddleboarding and playing disc golf. So
there you go, John.
That's the draw.
I was just paddleboarding the other day, brother. Paddleboarding is great. It's relaxing. It's beautiful.
So Draw Quest is wondering what we're talking about right now. Draw Quest, we're going to get into a conversation pretty soon about transforming from an employee to a successful solopreneur with Chris Flynn and Matt Biggar. And Matt, I want to lean into this first of all. So you're choosing a quality of life over sounds like a quantity of life. And many people don't. I'm going to just make a broad statement here. I think many people don't have the courage to do what you are doing, which is saying, no, I'm going to go chase a better quality of life right now because I want to go and spend time on a paddleboard. I want to make different decisions. Let's lean into that, Matt. What that just wasn't an overnight decision. How did you arrive at it?
Well, my wife and I have been taking vacation in Kamloops for 10 years.
Yeah.
Because that's where all our friends and family are. So that was a big draw as well. And we just want to move there so that we can go vacation somewhere else. But it's also real estate, opportunity, timing, and all of that stuff. There's a lot of factors at play here, but that is mostly the draw, is a change in lifestyle and making it more congruent with what lights me up, because I really do love getting out into the forest and playing disc golf. I don't know if anybody even knows what that is, to be honest, because most people don't know what disc golf is.
It's popular in California, big time.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. I'll have to come down there and play around then. But,
what is it?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Disc golf?
It's literally a plastic disc. It's smaller than a Frisbee, though. And you throw it into a chain basket on a golf course. It sounds ridiculous. You have no idea how much fun it is until you do it.
Well, think of it like golf. Golf, you frustrated. Most everybody does like 120, 130, and you're frustrated on 129 of those strokes. Well, disc golf, you get to have satisfaction on like half. So it's a much more fun methodology of golf. If you
y'all hearing no comment from Uncle Keith over here because I'm still trying to figure it out, and I see good time. That's the same thing I'm thinking too. Why don't y'all just golf, John? Or why don't you just go play Frisbee? Why do you got to take the Frisbee and the golf and make it into one? Like, why?
This isn't new, brother. It's been around for a long time. Just nobody knows about it.
Is it in the Olympics?
Oh.
Did you see the Olympics yesterday? I saw people climbing up they were doing the old speed climbing, like mountain climbing up the side of a wall. That was pretty exceptional. 6 seconds to the top. And then breakdancing. Breakdancing is new in the Olympics too.
Really?
Yeah.
Break dancing is in the Olympics. Well, then I don't think disc golf is too far out then.
Yeah, come on.
Snoop isn't. So is it coincidental that Snoop and breakdancing have been introduced to the Olympics for the same year?
Interesting.
Oh. Uncle Keith is at it on the marketing angle there.
That was terrible. That was awful.
I didn't think it was that bad, actually.
That wasn't as bad as yesterday, Marty. Give fella a little credit.
It wasn't as bad as yesterday.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Good time. Disc golf is for the bad golfer. That's why Anderson plays.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, exactly.
Tell that to Paul Macbeth. He has a $14 million contract for throwing discs into chains.
Oh, there. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me shut up.
Yeah, Keith and Marty.
Go and check them out, man.
Nothing. There you go.
Check them out.
We can admit the fact that golf is also dying, right? Correct? We can admit that fact.
Who wants
So
to hit a ball with a stick
getting
anyways?
different ways for people to activate a golf course, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, well, there you go. This is true. Yeah, golf is dying. You know, Tiger and what's his name are starting this little golf league inside of arenas, right? So they're trying to find ways to resurrect golf. Speaking of resurrecting team, you know, we have folks from time to time that are in an awesome career and an awesome job, and they're saying to themselves, I want to resurrect myself. How do I resurrect myself? And they say to themselves, I'm going to transform, Johnny, from an employee to a successful entrepreneur.
Absolutely, brother.
I want to change my mindset from an employee to a solopreneur. Matt, back in 2017, when you kind of started that journey, and then Christina, as you were exiting your journey out of the corporate world, take me through that mindset of how you went from over here to over here and what precipitated it. Biggar, let's start with you, my friend. How did you first start identifying that you wanted to begin working for yourself?
Okay, well, I'll give you the short version. So my first job was actually in a lumber yard in retail. So I'd actually load up like building materials for people in their vehicles. And it wasn't really fulfilling. It was kind of like I was helping people a little bit. I became an electrician after that. And I got further disconnected from any sense of like connection or purpose in my work. And I was very depressed. I was just in a bad place. I was blowing all my money, partying the weekends. And I knew that something had to change. It felt like I was going against my own nature. And so that's when I decided to go to a bookstore and I picked up a Robert Kiyosaki book, which it showed me another world that I didn't know existed. And so from there, I went in and out of different jobs many times trying to figure out, okay, well, I need sales skills. So I worked at a place called Future Shop, which Christina would know because she's Canadian, but it was owned by Best Buy. They absolved the brand. But it was retail sales, and I was serving clients, like I was basically helping them, you know, pick a phone out. But I noticed that all my peers were just pushing boxes, and I was spending time with the clients, and I really enjoyed that interaction and helping them through all the decisions that they had to make. So then I got hired at another company called TELUS, which is a major telecommunications company in Canada. And my job became teaching people how to use phones for 45-minute sessions. I did that for 5 years, and I did over 3,000 sessions, literally walking people through how to text their grandkids. It taught me a lot of patience. Seriously,
John.
You can imagine, right? If any of you have ever tried to teach somebody in your family specifically how to do something with technology, it can be very frustrating.
Marty, what were you gonna? You're gonna lay something on the counter. You called my name. What was
do you
that?
got?
No,
Like he said, texting his grandkids.
Yeah, just trying.
Absolutely. Yeah. The good news is that I actually knew how to text before my grandson was born, so I was ahead of the curve.
Nice.
Keep going.
Yeah. So what happened was I got promoted into a regional role. My role was downsized basically, and my job became to teach the sales reps what I used to do. But a lot of them really just, you know, they're selling phones, and there's not a lot of incentive behind spending an extra 30 to 45 minutes with somebody. So basically, that's when I kind of felt like I was being a little bit micromanaged in that role too. And that's when I finally made the bid for my own autonomy. I didn't have a plan. I didn't say that I was going to change my mindset. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just grabbed a camera. I hired a business coach, and I quit my job. And my business coach told me to get on the phone and start cold calling realtors, because I thought, well, I can make real estate videos. So I was really just making assumptions, but I had worked up enough courage to make the leap. And it was difficult, honestly. I struggled for a really long time, and I went through probably about 7 different branding and positioning resets in my business before I really figured out what I wanted to do. And it wasn't easy at all. And it took way more time than I thought it was going to.
No kidding. And so I hang on the no kidding part because many people don't recognize that last statement you made. It took much longer than I expected it to. Lean into that, Matt Biggar.
Yeah, I think we can have this tendency to see things. I think we can almost, I don't know if this is everybody, but we can be really overly optimistic about how much time something's going to take.
Yes.
And business can be slow. And it's actually a good way to play the game, to play a long game and enjoy the process of the build while you're doing it, instead of getting obsessed over, climbing the summit of making millions of dollars and then, selling a business or whatever that is. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what other people want to do. But I knew that wasn't the right path for me, because the North Star was, I want to do purposeful work. Fulfillment in what I do is a non-negotiable. And so I went through all of those resets because of that reason. If I wasn't going to, solve this problem that I had when I was an electrician with my business, then what the hell was the point of doing it anyways?
Yes. You're clearly a man of principle, Biggar, because you're making a move. You're moving your family to a different province. You're like, so quality of life is important to me. So, as I'm getting to know you over the last less than 10 years of your life here, you've made two significant changes. You've changed I need to have a purpose and fulfilling job. So you made a change over there. Now you're like, I need to have a higher quality of life. So I'm going over there. A lot of courage, man. Big kahunas to make those changes, pal.
Thank you.
Yeah, big kahunas. Johnny, Christina, Marty, questions for Matt before Johnny, if you're ready, we'll do a lifestyle tip coming up in a couple minutes, my friend. Christina, Marty, Johnny, questions for Matty.
Yeah, I was going to say what skills translated from working in the phone industry, what translated to being an entrepreneur? Like, what helped you there?
I love that question because there's this ironic thing about humans. It's all about communication skills.
Yeah.
Right. And so that role, I got to exercise my ability to simplify information and slow things down and communicate with people at their level with their learning style. And that's what translates into my role now. And I do think it's ironic that one of the most valuable skills for humans is communication skills, which is multifaceted and multi-layered, but not a lot of people would buy that as an idea. So I don't know. I think that's ironic, but that is definitely the thread that connects back to the career.
Yeah. Tina, I see you're motioning for something to say there.
Tell me a little bit. You mentioned you have to go through 7+ branding positioning exercises to really get to that comfort level, which I think is incredibly common, but not a lot of people are talking about. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs step into this space and they feel like, I've set a direction, I've set a vision, I've communicated that externally, I can't go back. But it's really important to keep iterating on that positioning. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that's what you're interested in asking. I love that question too. So I would say the balance of figuring out, okay, what are the skills that I can combine and create an offer from to support other people, and the product market fit of doing that, getting the right demand, positioning the messaging correctly. And I'm not pretending to have all of this figured out either. But every time that I would create an offer to support somebody, I'll give you guys an example. I used to do YouTube consulting. Well, I was compartmentalized in that person's business as the YouTube guy. I wasn't thought of as someone who could support them. And I'd sit back and I'd watch them making all these other mistakes in their business that affected our work. And so I knew that I had to make another adjustment. That was just one of those things. It's like, I want to be able to have a holistic approach and support the entire human behind the business. So I naturally ended up gravitating towards what I define as lifestyle business coaching, because I do want to support the entire person behind the business. So that was one of those moments where I just knew, like, okay, I'm going to go back and become the coach that I had actually needed when I hired one, because it was a mismatch. And it gave me a lot of clarity about how I want to show up and serve and support other people. But that's always been the product market fit has always been what I noticed. If I created an offer to support people and it was draining my soul, then something was wrong. Something was off. Something needed to be adjusted.
Yeah, no, I think I totally get that, brother. My coaching, in many cases, I get hired to do this job, but I quickly realized for me to do this job well, I need to go and fix something else so that I can do my job better. So I always make that the way I look at it is I do what I need to do to get the job done. And sometimes it turns out to be more than what was actually appeared to be. But when it comes down to it, when you want to serve someone and doing what you got to do to get them to their finish line, I mean, that's what it's all about. So I've kind of adapted the idea that I'm going to look for one more thing than I was hired to do, because that thing's going to pop up anyway. So I'm just going to search it out before it slaps me, and I'm going to fix it before it causes a problem.
Yeah.
I like
driven by the desire to be of more value.
Yes.
I like that. Looking for one more thing, John. And that Matt, Matt, what you're describing a lot is the life of a business athlete, right? Which is, creating that harmony between all aspects of life, right? And John, I like that you're recognizing, if you're working with me, that I've come to you with one goal, but you're going, no, actually Keith's asking me for this, but what I really need to do is much more with him. And you're stepping back and you're having that holistic view with me, aren't you, Anderson?
100%. 100%. There's always going to be something that's going to pop up. So let's just find it before it pops up.
Yes, exactly. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, Matt, Christina, Marty, and John Anderson here. Mornings in the Lab. We drop every single day, 8 o'clock Eastern time. This new nostalgic morning show drops over on YouTube, LinkedIn, X, all over the planet. We drop about 15 minutes into the show. We get into the accountability check-in, bottom of the show, the See Marty Fit Tip. And now we are going to introduce a brand new segment. And you know what we're doing here, guys? We're creating the airplane as we fly. So we're going to introduce a brand new segment, lifestyle tips with Anderson. And we're going to move Marty off the stage. We're going to move Christina off stage and Matt off the stage. We're going to come back, continue the conversations about the practicalities of becoming a solopreneur, what that's like. I want to ask Christina her experiences and moving from corporate life to, okay, I guess I got to go make calls myself to go get some money into the house. So we're going to continue that conversation in about a minute and a half. But up until then, we are going to do.
Let's go, John.
I got a button here. I don't know what it's going to do, so we're going to try this.
Oh, is that my sound? Oh my goodness.
That's the sound for today. And then I'll change it tomorrow.
That's
Anderson.
crazy. You can't do John like that. Don't do John like that, man. John doesn't deserve that.
I love it.
There we go.
So this is a brand new segment, and this is a lifestyle tip. And so, you know me, I like to keep it simple. So here's what I want you guys to think about. Your thoughts control your day. Your thoughts control your life. So when you wake up, really make a good effort in going into thinking about 3 things that you're positive about, 3 things that you're grateful about in that day. You're going to put your mind, you're going to put your brain in a position where, well, first off, it's going to release a bunch of good chemicals for you. You wake up and you think of your problems, you start stressing out, negative chemicals, you're already stressing. You're moving down the wrong path. You wake up, think about 3 things you're grateful for, think about 3 things that you're positive for today, and you will literally change the trajectory of how you will live your life for the day. You do have control of how your day unfolds based upon the quality of your thoughts.
Style tip of the day of John Anderson, a brand new tip we're introducing here to the show, and I'm going to bring some music back for that one.
Yeah, John.
I like that, man. I like that a lot. It's so Johnny, I'm going to throw something at you, pal. So I'm thinking when you get up in the morning, because I love your habit stacking and I love how you're teaching us stuff all the time. So I get up, I get my water, I get my alarm going, and then what you're saying is that I'm quickly asking myself my whys, my what am I doing, those most important questions to get my day started. Ain't that, Johnny? Yeah,
100%. As soon as you wake up, your brain starts going. Which direction is it going? And,
yes.
You know the best part about that, the first fit tip is I didn't know I was going to unfold. So I thought you were going to pitch something at me. You just put me on the screen and said, okay, I realized, okay, he's not going to give me a direction. I'm going to do this all by myself, which I was actually very happy with, because I thought, which direction is that little fella going to push me in for my tip?
There you go. But this is good, guys, because there's people listening right now wanting to start a business, John. And they're going, oh, but I got to do 10 things before I can start the business. No, what you just saw happen, that just literally happened. I said to John and Marty yesterday, we're doing some tips every 15 minutes, boys, be ready. And you're learning here on the air that just like Matt, Matt made the decisions many years ago, I got to go step out and do something. Often we get caught up with not doing anything because we overthink it. Yes. Anderson just turned the camera on and just started talking. So nation, take from the last 3 minutes, there's learnings happening there. You're like, right, okay, just start talking. When you start talking, things are going to happen. And in a week from now, the segment's going to be even better than today. So those last 3 minutes unfolded of us building the plane as we're flying right in front of you guys. Of course, with some clients coming in here, we got some comments coming here from the side as well. Fly Efficient jumping in with, are you guys excited about how AI is making work easier, or are you resisting it being included in everyone's lives? I'm weaving it in. When we're building this business, nation, every decision we make is AI first, human second. Because the world right now is humans being supported by AI. Well, we're building a business for the future. So all of our decisions, we're saying to ourselves, okay, what can AI do? And then how can humans support it? Yes, bottom line is Fly Efficient. We are leaning into that. And Fazil Chowdhury jumps in with, problem-solving skills are the most sought after in the market these days in terms of hiring professionals. You're bang on. And Bezoyak, my wife is awesome. Thank you for asking. She's the best. And I know that Johnny's wife, she's probably doing pretty good as well right now. And listen, guys, if you guys want to, inspired by insomnia, what have I achieved? Well, I started a little company from a white piece of paper. I built it up and I sold it for $50 million. Let's
go, baby. Let's go.
So inspired by insomnia, what have you achieved? Anyways, coming up here, we're going to get into Marty.
That's okay. I'm good.
There you go.
I'm good.
And listen,
I'm going to chill today.
Yeah, nation, if you want to have your comments on the screen, I love them. Bring them up. But if you're going to be an idiot, we're not going to put them up. And if you're going to put hate out there, we're not going to put them up. We are kindness. We're love. We're a bunch of fun guys who like to have a lot of fun. And we are going to push the limits here. But
brother, what's the saying? What's the saying? Come on.
I know the saying.
What is it? If they're talking smack, you're on the right track.
Yes.
So keep that stuff coming. Keep throwing those turds, man. Let's go.
I saw smoke coming out there.
That's it. I was just stumbling bringing it out there. We're talking, how do you move from being an employee to a solopreneur here? Mornings in the Lab coming up at the top of the hour here. And we got our guest, Matt Biggar, moving from Alberta to British Columbia for a better quality life, who made the decision back in 2017 to say, you know what? I need to go work for myself. And Christina Flynn also joining us from Toronto, who also made the decision a few years back to say, you know what, I'm done bouncing balls for the NBA. I'm going to go build a personal branding business. So let's pivot to that, Christina. The practicalities of becoming a solopreneur is largely about starting with crafting your personal brand. Let's lean into that, because yesterday you're like, okay, I'm working for, Rogers, or as Matt was, or TELUS. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm working for TELUS, and I'm now part of the TELUS brand, but now I'm Matt Biggar. Now I'm Christina Flynn. Talk about the power of establishing a unique brand identity and how crucial it is to differentiate yourself in a crowded market when you do decide to make the decision from moving as an employee to solopreneur. Christina Flynn.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, when you look at the various stages of your life, instead of sitting there and saying, who do I want to be? You take some time and you reflect back and say, who am I? And what do the various points and phases of my life suggest that I'm about? When you talk about authenticity, Matt, you were talking about, you didn't really have all the answers, but you were moving towards an intuition. You were moving towards a feeling. When I'm in this space, I'm not really going towards what feels right to me. I'm going against that. Listen to those moments. Listen to what your body is telling you, and taking the time to reflect on, who the fuck are you? What are you about? What are your values? What are the constants and the themes and the patterns that keep showing up in your life? And if you do that and you start there, you create a really strong foundation for who you are. When you do that and you start saying, okay, now I kind of know, I've got an idea of who I am and what I care about, you can say, okay, who do I want to share this with? What's the value that I can provide them? What's the education that I can do based on these really unique skills and experiences and opportunities that I have developed over a period of time? And then you have to say, who needs this and who would be willing to buy this from me? What's the value that I can deliver to them, and will they pay me for that value? If you do that, you're always going to start from a position of authenticity, which is great. You're going to feel like you're moving towards something that is purposeful. You may not end up exactly where you thought you would be, and that's the entire point. You won't end up exactly where you thought you'd be. You're going to start one place, and you're going to iterate over a period of time, and eventually it's going to start to feel right. Like with Matt, it took 7 different iterations. That's cool. Doing is much better than thinking about these things. So just start putting your offer out there. Start saying, this is the value that I have to deliver, and who's willing to pay for that value. If you believe in that, then, and you believe in yourself, you'll be willing to iterate over time, and it doesn't have to be as complicated.
Yes. Marty?
I don't have any questions right now.
Awesome.
I'm good.
Johnny?
Well, I mean, the whole thing of that process is explained beautifully, you know, and obviously I like to simplify things, and this show's about some takeaways and getting people started. So in that whole idea of trying to get yourself moving in that right direction and finding out your authenticity, would you recommend people thinking from the standpoint of, okay, I know I don't want to be this. I know it's almost easier to identify what you don't want rather than you want. Would you agree with that in this situation?
100%, right? And sometimes you don't know that answer to that, but you have to take some time, like Matt did, to say something doesn't feel right. And if something doesn't feel right, great. Put it to the side. It's likely that you're moving in a direction that isn't aligned with who you are. So you really have to tap into that intuition there. But yeah, if it's easier to start with, and I think it is for most people, start with what you fucking hate and put that to the side and say, I don't want to be doing that, or that's not aligned with the lifestyle that I want to be building. Start from there. And then eventually over time, you'll learn a little bit more about yourself and figure out what you actually do want.
I like that a lot. Kudo.
Christina.
Yeah, go one second, Marty. We got Kudo jumping in here. What is this? YouTube says it's live. We are talking about Kudo. This is the only morning show on the planet to help you get your day started. We help you get your ass out of bed, not hit the snooze button, and adopt some positive attitude, some positive energy and content to help you move forward. Today, we are talking about moving from being an employee to an entrepreneur, solopreneur, and what that process looks like. Marty had a question for Christina.
Yeah, I was going to say yesterday we talked about security, job security a little bit.
Yes.
So what advice can you give to anyone who's, scared of, leaving the job security or anything like that?
I think feel that, right? Like I'm the last person in the world to tell anyone to go and jump when I don't know their life position, right? The economics are real. And so you need to have a really clear plan as to the direction you want to go. Is it going to provide for you and your family now in this moment? And if it's not, I take that into account. You can't necessarily, I was incredibly impulsive. And I talk about that all the time. I didn't think about the implications of that and what those decisions were going to do for me and my family. And I didn't realize, as Matt talked about, I didn't realize how patient I'd have to be. I didn't realize how long it would take. And that really set me up for a really difficult road. I think do it step by step. If you've got economics to worry about, think about that. This is going to take time. I tell people it's a 10-year journey, I think, to get to a really established point. And if you're not ready to sign up for those 10 years, don't make the jump right away.
Yeah.
The jump is scary, and the jump doesn't necessarily give you what you need right away. So yeah, be scared by it, acknowledge it, and say, what's the solution then? How can I still continue to make money and build what I need to build?
Let me add something to that too. The whole idea of job security. I've always said to myself, and I say to others, security is knowing that you will get up one more time than you fall. You have a job. Somebody could just end that job, bam, like that. But when you're doing your own thing and you've got the confidence to know no matter how hard you get hit, you're going to keep moving forward. That is security.
Mm-hmm. You all have said something this morning, which I don't know if we talk enough about, not only on the show, but in life in general. And it's this idea of feeling. Anderson, you lean into that word all the time. You make decisions based on feeling. Matt Biggar 7 years ago, he's like, I'm not feeling this job anymore. I'm going to make a change. And over the last number of months, he's like, I'm not feeling this living in Alberta anymore. I'm going to make a change. Christina was like, I'm not feeling this. And we don't talk enough about feelings. It's like we're so focused on data when I think sometimes we need to lean into what's going on in our gut. Biggar, talk about feelings and sometimes how we maybe need to lean back into that on making decisions instead of always looking at the data. Do you follow my questioning, Matt?
100%, man. You like, for me, the experience is really becoming a trusting process in the intuition. If I feel like something is off, then I know with my mind that something has to change.
Yeah.
And you were talking about passion, following passion with your tip earlier in the show. And I think that, following passions is not really the best way to do it when it comes to starting a business. It can give you clues, but building a business upon a passion can lead you down the wrong path.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Dude, yeah, go down that, man, because a lot of people think that, okay, and I talked with that, during my accountability check-in, and I even dropped it in my video this morning, and Marty and John, we've been leaning into this so often. Like, you got to find your why. And if the passion is, I love my job, then lean into that. But you need to find your why as much as your passion, and then go run after the why, Matt Biggar.
I would advocate that the purpose is more important than having passion, because passion can lead you down the path of chasing excitement and emotions, right? So, and that doesn't necessarily take you in the right direction. When you know why you're doing it, it doesn't matter what the how is. You can find a way, you can make adjustments. And that's one challenge that I had, was I would hold on to my ideas. Some of them took way too long for me to figure out. Like, this isn't right. I try to make a game review website, guys.
Hey, ask Christina about some of her failures she shared with me yesterday.
Oh God, there's so many. I love what you're talking about, because I was raised with the mentality of like, do what you love and money will come. And I'm 40 and I'm like, nah, because I've done a lot of what I love and money doesn't come. It doesn't just come. You have to be strategic about it. But oh God, I try to gamify social interactions so that consumers could earn CSR donation dollars to give to charities. I've done a lot of shit and wasted a lot of money doing it. But if you're able to look at it in hindsight, they were all really good lessons. Like the lesson of learning how to fail. And to your point, Matt, being able to fail a lot more quickly each time with a lot less invested and a lot less like holding on to, this is my idea and it's the best idea in the world, versus like, I'm just going to do something and it'll lead me in whatever direction it's meant to lead me in.
Yeah.
There's something, I think, for people listening, of course, we're talking about, chasing dreams, passion, purpose, all this. And that can get out, may seem a little confusing to those, especially if you're working a job you don't want. You're like, God, I really want to do X, Y, Z. This is what you do. You keep your job, you keep doing well with your job, and you start committing 1 hour per day to whatever it is that, whether it's a purpose, a passion, a why, call it what you will, pursue that. If that thing starts to monetize, lean into a little bit more. And when it monetizes more than your job, you go in, you let your boss know that you found a better life, and you keep going. So if you're having a hard time identifying passion, why, purpose, I get it. So take what you think is best, take what lights your fire, commit an hour a day, push forward, see what happens.
There's a real estate guy named Jamal King. He always says you go to your 9 to 5, but what you doing from 5 to 9. Yeah. So, you can work on it after work or, but before work. So that's another way to look at it too.
And 1 hour is a non-negotiable. You're going to have to commit an hour a day. You probably find if it's really a passion, a purpose, or a why, we'll call it what you will, you're going to find that you want more than an hour. Now you're on to something.
Yeah.
That's exceptional value, guys. Hey, Marty, this is the last day of the morning show because apparently we need to have a reason for doing this and not just to be having fun. So,
oh, wow.
I thought the whole reason was to have fun, Marty, and people would show up and then eventually would get paid. But according to Christina and Matt, we might be on the wrong path.
Oh, maybe.
Real deal problem coming in some comments. Canada in the house. Well, I'll tell you a real deal. We got Canada multiplied in the house here. We got Christina from Toronto. We got Matty from Alberta moving to BC. And we, of course, myself in the middle of the planet in Manitoba, Canada. We got some exceptional comments coming in here as well with Fazil coming in from watching from Pakistan. Evening here. Morning shows not what this is. Only is strong. I love that, Fazil. I know you've been here a few times, so I thank you for for jumping into to the show. And Fazil also says, Matt, spot on. You've been talking about your journey, Matt. Michael W., this is exactly what, the kick in the ass. And that's the point of this show. You wonder why this show comes on? This show is to help you guys get started. This show is for Marty and Billis and Anderson to say, don't hit the snooze button. Anderson's going to give you a hack and say, set a second alarm and get your ass out of bed and get going. That's what the purpose of this show is. It is absolutely motivated morning here. And Michael, you don't feel like mic time's being distributed equally? We just do it. We just go on the fly here. I think we're doing okay. And then Fazil is like, my passion was to be a sports journalist. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. Why? Passion sometimes. And I think that's kind of the message here, right? Which is, you have one thing, but it might end up being something else. Matt, talk about how leveraging tools like LinkedIn, you too, Christina, building a personal brand, moving from the business to, okay, I'm going to do my own thing now. I've discovered my why. I know what my why is. I need to go start somewhere. Some people choose X. Some people choose Threads, Insta. Let's lean into LinkedIn and some tips that you might give an audience. Matt, you first on building a personal brand on LinkedIn, and Christina, you next.
Cool. I think that it is an amazing platform depending on what type of business it is that you want to create. So for me, I want to be of service and support to other humans. Relationships are the foundation and core of my business, and LinkedIn is a phenomenal place for connecting and establishing those types of relationships. Mm-hmm. So the advice that I would share is just to be aware that if you're newer on the platform, it doesn't have to be done in a transactional way. You can participate in social media and be of contribution to other people, and you can network organically without forcing or trying to pack your calendar or generate leads or overcome objections. There's a very natural way of being in your business that feels more like yourself. And so the advice that I would share with people, if you're going to build a relationship-focused business, is to focus more on being curious, genuinely curious to get to know other humans. Do your networking and relationship building activities. They are the lifeblood of your business. You have to be connecting with people and having great conversations like this one. And don't be so focused. I know that money is really important, and this is why it takes time to build. But if you're so focused on trying to get money out of people, then that energetically comes up. Like, people will be able to read it. Their defenses are up. They're not going to want to do business with you. So it's really about being curious. And what I would share is, for a sales process to feel natural, the most natural sales process is the one that doesn't feel like a sales process at all.
Yes.
On that level, brother, it's so true, because when you approach someone as you're trying to help them, you give off a different vibration than when you're trying to sell them something. And subconsciously, anyone can tell the difference between, man, this person's trying to help me, or this person's trying to sell me something. And down deep, that person usually that feels like he's being sold is going to stay on his heels and not move forward.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Christina, what would you add on to Matt's comments regarding leaning into LinkedIn, not using LinkedIn? I know when we spoke yesterday, that's a place where you're working on your personal branding experience. Talk about LinkedIn, Christina.
Yeah, I started on X, and there were a lot of changes to X. So you got to bear in mind that you're depending on a platform that you don't control. So first and foremost, you want to make sure that these are platforms for a distribution of your message, but make sure you're also leading people that come in contact with you off platform. Off platform can be a Substack or a blog or an email newsletter, whatever it is. Try to get that contact information from folks so that you can nurture that relationship off of the platform. But I think LinkedIn is a great place for an MVP of a personal brand. I look at my profile as my landing page. I don't have a website. I send people to my LinkedIn because I'm able to update it more frequently. I'm able to get a better understanding of who my target market is and what do they care about, and change that and iterate that on the fly. And I think with a profile, there's a lot of great resources out there to show you what's working and what's not. So look to see what folks are doing. And then again, try to make it yourself. One message, one offer, one target audience. Like, focus on that. You will do a lot of things and it will feel like it doesn't do you justice when you're just focusing on one thing. But your audience needs to know first and foremost, what's the one thing, the one piece of information or the one value proposition that you can provide them with, and focus on that. Then deliver value. Deliver it for free in your content. Show people that you care, show people that you know your shit. And while you do that and they see that, they will then connect with you and there will be an opportunity for a transaction. But like Matt said, relationships first, value first, the transactions will come.
Yeah, that's very, very, very true. I laugh at people that come and get into my DMs or instant messages and all of a sudden just pitch slap me right off the bat. Just all of a sudden, boom, Keith, buy this. I'm like, who are you? Like, we live in a world where I could actually get to know you. So I'd love to get to know you first, and I'd be more than happy to pull my wallet out if I like you. Right. And it's because if somebody's going to take the time to get to know me, like I made a comment yesterday, guys, on LinkedIn. I love when people still reach out to me on LinkedIn and try to ask if I want to start a podcast.
This is next level from podcasting.
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to start a podcast. Good time comes in with when you can turn your hobby into a career, you hit the jackpot. That's what Marty was leaning to, right? Like you work from 9 to 5. Well, what are you doing from 5 to 9? Get off the couch, get off the Cheetos, go do something. Like Anderson says, you got an hour. You can make an hour a day to be non-negotiable. Like that's just the thing, you folks. Like we've got 24 hours in a day, and I always say you can take 30 to go get yourself moving. You take 30 to get yourself moving. You take 30 to move yourself into something you're passionate about. Dude, you put 60 onto that, 90 minutes out of a full day. Man, you can do magic with that. Real Deal Prime comes in with, as a traveling salesman, I've never asked for the sale. They either feel guilty not to buy or are fully educated on the product like no other. And Fazil comes back in with, Anderson mentioned enthusiasm is very essential at the start of the project, especially. Yes, ideology and mission needs to be communicated with the masses. There's no question about that. I'm going to, this one's funny, so I got to put it up here, but Kudo's joining us from Africa. So Kudo, first of all, Kudo builds houses for his workers, but Kudo is going to go now because there's some lions around the house.
Wow.
So
be careful, brother.
Jesus.
Don't hear that one too often.
Well, we'll say a prayer for you. Hopefully you come check in tomorrow so we know you're okay.
Please.
Keith, what are you are just dying. What tickled you, brother? You are just all cracked up. Did you read another comment or something?
Oh, there's just some dude right now on the planet. Oh, there's some lions outside the door. I got to take care of shit. Like, what?
That's normal. This
comment section is crazy.
Normal is his. It's clearly normal in his world. You know, he's just going to handle business.
Sitting here having a conversation about personal branding, and there's some dude dealing with lions outside the door, Marty. Anyways, let's get into the contrarian view of the challenges and realities of solopreneurship. Marty, you and I talk about this often, off the show, about what it's like to work hard and grind it out. And Anderson, you and I do too, which is, I don't want to make a mass statement that nobody understands the challenges and realities of solopreneurship. But Adam House brought it up yesterday. The collateral damage that comes up along the way. The 16-hour days, 18-hour days. Yes, solopreneurship offers lots of flexibility once you've arrived at something. But man, the pressure of being solely responsible. Matt, you said you don't have any children yet. It's you and your wife. But, or Christina, I know you have a family. It's good. I don't have a guaranteed paycheck. I got to go and try to go earn some money. Let's talk about the challenges and realities of, or Anderson, you too, you said yourself, I've never had a job. I've always had to go make money.
I have never, ever in my adult life collected a paycheck, because that basically says that I'm helping someone else reach their dreams, not mine. And I didn't subscribe to that from the very beginning. I knew I didn't want to commute to work. I knew I didn't want to work for somebody else. I knew that I wanted to do it my way.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did.
Yes. But John, lean into the difficulties of that, because let's be frank here. On the outside view, let's poke you a little bit for some vulnerabilities here. Yeah. On the outside, big bodybuilder, strong man, everybody sees strong superhero guy. But dude, I know there are times in your life when you're like, holy, man, I got to pay the bills, or holy fuck, man, I got to get stuff done. Or you're looking in your own mirror in the privacy of your own mirror, and you're kind of breaking down internally going, oh my God, I'm stressed out about this. The world's seeing this big, strong guy, but inside I'm battling about this. John, lean into that.
100%. I mean, when you pick the path of doing it your way, you're going to run into some challenges. And one of the things I repeat to myself often, even at 52, is that I don't want to be comfortable. If I'm comfortable, that works against the whole ideology of doing great things. Because when I keep myself uncomfortable, then I'm willing to do the shit that I wouldn't do when I was comfortable. And I've gotten really good at living my life that way. Now, granted, there's some times when it'll wind up on me, and I got to sit down and I got to realize, okay, you're stressing out about things that have never happened before. You know, stop it. If it does happen, stress out about it then. And so as a entrepreneur, you've got to register that you're going to stress out about things, and majority of them probably never going to happen. So what you got to do is focus on what you got to do today to make sure that you're moving towards your goal. And you got to make sure that you're focusing on the things that are going to move you ahead, not focusing on the things that are going to take you backwards, which is stressing out about shit that only lives in your head.
Yeah. Yeah. Marty, I know you've gone through this journey yourself, and then Maddie, I'm going to throw to you next year. But Marty, I know you've been on this journey yourself of the irregular paycheck. I got to go make this myself, because you're an entrepreneur, you're a solopreneur. Talk about that stress.
Yeah, it's real, but at the end of the day, you just got to be. You almost got to have like that skill of creativity, right? Because things are going to go south, so you got to know how to adjust, how to adapt. You know, like I'm in the middle of the pandemic. Gyms closed in LA when I'm living there. I buy equipment and it gets stolen. So what are you going to do? So you just got to figure it out. And, you got to almost have that quitting is not an option mentality and don't have a plan B. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. You know, you just got to find a way to make plan A work.
Matt, what about you?
Man, the thing I want to add on there is creativity is completely underrated in business. Your ability to solve problems requires presence. And that's kind of what John was talking about, right? If you're ruminating in the past, or you're stressed out about the potential future and you're not being present, then you're not slowing down enough to be present with the issues that you're actually facing in the moment. And getting into a state of creative problem solving requires you to change your physiology. You cannot be in that state of mind, right? As John knows, I'm sure, everybody here, the blood's not in the right part of your brain if you're stressed out, if you're in that state. So the game becomes, how do I get out of that state and be present with this? And that's easier said than done. It takes a lot of practice.
It's interesting to hear you say that, Matt, because when I met Marty on the first time I sat down with him live in the lab, and you used the word creative, Biggar. Well, Marty discovers less brunches, more crunches, because he's seeing something happening across the street from the gym, and he's recognizing, well, there's a creative opportunity there. The next day, the guy starts a merchandise business. So to your point, Matt, he saw something, he was creative about it, and then he jumped on it. Right. And again, there's a whole other conversation about execution. It's one thing to identify, but then actually executing on it. Right. So Marty's a great example of bringing creativity into solving a problem, because okay, those folks aren't hitting the gym, they're hitting the brunches. Oh, I got an idea. Puts it on a t-shirt. People start buying it. Right. Tina, what's your concepts on lean into this conversation?
It's a grind. And anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. So know that it's going to be a grind, and know that every one of us can sit up here and say, like, this is the path or this is our advice, but the only path is your path, and you're going to have to decide what that is. That might be, as John said, keeping your full-time job and starting slowly and doing it from the 5 to 9. That might be getting a part-time job. Like, you don't have to lean in 100% either, because you have to take care of yourself. And if you've got a family, you have to take care of your family. So if you're moving towards something that feels really good, great. But if you're not patient in doing that and do what you got to do to sustain yourself, it's not going to last. It's not going to last. So you got to be prepared for the grind.
Fizil jumps into the comment. I think there needs to be a balance, because if you take a passion project without managing the risks that come with it, and it goes sideways, the implications are absolutely serious. There's no question about that. Last comment slash question around this conversation, excuse me, before we work towards wrapping it up here. But I want to talk about burnout of a solopreneur. Matt Biggar, I see you nodding.
Well, I mean, I built a YouTube channel for over 3 years. And while I was doing that, because I thought that was my business, right? Misguided. I was doing food deliveries for Skip the Dishes in order to make ends meet. So I was building a YouTube channel, making content. I was grinding it like I was grinding. And I was showing it up. And I got to a place where I felt like I was just phoning it in. I literally made a video on my channel once that made me realize that, okay, I'm burning out on this. And the idea was that I would talk about consistency I would be consistent myself by talking about the subject of consistency. And it just felt really crappy. Like I was phoning it in with low quality content that I didn't even give a shit about. And I actually drove my channel into the ground because I had dabbled in too many topics and chased too many passions with a single channel. The YouTube platform does not work very well for that. It wants you to have a core audience, core topic. Yeah. Exactly. And it was good because it gave me the awareness that something was off in my business. But I definitely burnt out on it. I haven't even posted video on there for over 2 years. And it's still growing, which is kind of crazy. But I'm planning my return. And this time I have the core topic. And I'm really passionate about it. So the passion does show up in the subject matter for me. But yes, definitely burnout. The other thing that I would add in on the positive side here is have time for you as best you can. To dedicate to focus. And I know that that's not necessarily easy for parents, you know, if you've got kids, you know, in the summer, etc. I'm not a parent, so I'm not pretending to know what that situation's like. But I don't do calls on Fridays with anybody. That's a day for me to work on my business and follow like creativity, inspiration, passion, whatever that comes up for me in that day. And that fuels me for everything else. And I think that we have to recharge. We have to find something that charges us in our business, even if it is a bit of a grind, for sure.
Damn.
So that's what I would share.
I gotta add to that. You know, for sure, there's no question burnout is real no matter what you're doing. But when you find something that you're really, really digging, like let's say you got your job and you commit to that 1 hour non-negotiable, and you're working from, you get home and all of a sudden you're going to do 5 to 6 on whatever this new venture is. You might find yourself wanting to work all the way until you go to bed, because when you really enjoy what you're doing, you're going to get more mileage before you burn out. Burnout is real no matter what you're doing.
Yes.
But when you're not, when there's no friction, when you're doing something that you actually want to do versus feel like you have to do it, you're going to get more mileage. Just remember, burnout is very subject to a lot of things. And I would say for me, the biggest one is if I'm doing what I want to do, I got a lot of life in me before I start, you know, feeling burned out.
Doesn't it feel amazing, John, when you find something you're extremely passionate about and you can show up every single day, and without any doubt or any ambiguity? There's fire in that, isn't that, Johnny?
Well, when you start off doing something and you're not doing it to be paid, and then you get paid.
Yes.
You see the stuff that my life is filled with stuff I'd be doing if I wasn't getting paid. And that right there, I shouldn't say lucky enough. I had the tenacity, the hard work, and the focus and everything else that goes into it to get here. And, you know, that's the bottom line is if you've got stuff in your life that you love to do, that you do, but you're not getting paid, you get paid for that. You'd be pretty surprised at how much more, I guess you'd say, you're just going to have more to give.
Yeah, I believe that. Peter Billis joining in here. Peter, what's this about? This is the only morning show on the planet that helps you get your day started. We go 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, all over the planet. Myself, I'm Keith Billis. That's C. Marty Fit. That's John Anderson. You got Matt Biggar, and of course you got Christina Flynn. Our goal, our role, what we do is we help you get started. That's what we do here in the morning show. So I appreciate you dropping in here. And as we work towards wrapping this chat up, guys, what a great conversation this morning. Fazil comes in and says, recharging is essential. Otherwise, extreme burnout will lead to writer's block, and deterioration will have a domino effect on different aspects of your life. And I tell you, I know we talk about weaving us back to feelings again. I know when I'm burnt out. I sit down in front of my computer and I try to be creative, and it just doesn't come out. Right. And I put my headset on and I try to get myself going with some music, and Johnny, Marty, it just doesn't come out. I'm like, all right, it's time to step away. And I've had to learn that. And again, I go back to feeling, because I'm like, no, I can grind it out. But then I quickly become less productive, Christina. Like, oh, okay, this is actually taking me longer than I thought. This isn't working very well. So I should step away. You know what I mean?
Step away, go for a walk, clear your head, do something that you enjoy. And I guarantee you, when you come back, you're going to have way more ideas and way more flow.
It's so true. It happens to me all the time. So Nation, we're here talking about moving from a business, from a job to an entrepreneur, solopreneur, and the struggles of that, the joys of that, the challenges of that. We've been joined here today by our guest, Matt Biggar, who's joined us here from Alberta, moving over to BC, and Christina Flynn having the conversation. And in wrapping it up, the journey from being an employee to a successful solopreneur is marked by significant mindset transformation. And if there's anything we've learned from both Christina and Matt, it's going to take you longer than you think. So if you're like, yeah, I'm going to get this thing done in 6 months, go knock on Anderson's door and recognize it ain't going to happen in 6 months. It's probably going to take you 1, 2, 3, Christina's thinking maybe even up to 10 years, right? You need to leave yourself runway. And recognizing also, we didn't lean into this, you guys, but the reality is that solopreneurship can also be very isolating, Marty, and of course, very financially unstable. But with the right mindset, the right strategies, man, once you achieve it, it can lead to very fulfilling and rewarding outcomes. And I'll leave it with this: regardless if that is on your own journey or a journey within the organization you're in, just go at it and get after it and be consistent and habit stack every single day, and you will be very fulfilled and have that rewarding outcome. What a great chat here, guys. I've thoroughly enjoyed that. Matt, I've loved hearing your story. I like how we really got into the idea of feeling here, you guys, because, I know John's all about that. And Matt, I didn't know you moved, and that really kind of triggered something in me, because I'm like, well, why? Why do you move? And you're like, well, no, I want a better quality of life. I'm like, well, that just dials right into what we're talking about here today. That takes courage, dude. It takes courage. So, team, wrapping it up here today. 90 minutes done. Wow, we got into no other parts of our show today. Arnold's not going to be on the topic today. We'll bring Arnold out tomorrow, even though tomorrow's a big show tomorrow as well, guys, but that's going to be exciting. Let's go around that table. Thoughts on today's show, Anderson?
You know me, I'm all about the takeaways, and so if you're one of these people who's fed up with a job that you're driving, you're in traffic, you don't want to be there, find something that you enjoy to do, that you're doing. And if you can try to monetize, just commit an hour a day, try to monetize this, work on it. You'll be surprised once you actually commit to something, opportunities will open up. And if you can start down that path, then you have a real good chance of completely changing your life.
It's very true. Real Deal Prime, thanks for joining in, my friend. I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment on the channel. That helps us build this thing, and I appreciate you jumping in. Good time, you as well. I very much appreciate you being part of our community. And Fazil, obviously, very much appreciate you joining. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Mornings in a lot of great conversations. Love to discuss different aspects of solopreneurship. Christina, your first time on the show today. What are you taking away from today's show, the conversation we had, the vibes of the show? Would love to hear your point of view.
No, I love it. I love the lean into the feelings. I think it's easy when folks are here talking heads and they're saying all these things that you need to do or you need to consider. No one is moving without fear. It's whether you move despite the fear. This is a very scary thing. And those feelings that you might be having of overwhelm, of overthinking, not knowing which way to move, every single one of us up here is afraid in a lot of ways that we move, but we move, and the fear will become less and less over time, and eventually it'll feel not at all fearful. And something like this, it'll feel very real and very exciting. So move towards the fear, not away from it.
Well,
Run to it, not from it, man. I love that. That's beautiful.
That's the theme here in the lab. What about you, Biggar? What are you taking out of today's conversation? Very grateful for you joining us. I love your energy you bring, and I love the insights you always bring, Matt. But what are you taking from today's show?
Thanks, man. It was something that John said earlier. You know, he's talked about commitment and following through, setting that expectation for yourself. I think I remember when I was an employee and I made the transition and how long it took me to understand this lesson that we are now accountable to ourselves. And when we had that structure and organization where, you know, we had to show up to a job in a place at a time, and it's something to think about, right? And so it serves as a reminder to me. I love Jack Canfield's the success principles. The very first one is take 100% responsibility for everything in your life, and that's a hard pill to swallow. So this conversation is a good reminder of that.
That's exceptional, Matt. That's exceptional, Matt. And Marty, looking at you, pal. Man, you know, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, it was just you and I sitting here, right? Chewing the fat, having great conversations, inviting guests in and out. Now we got folks like Anderson, Christina, Biggar, having big chats. What did you take from today's show, Marty?
Two things. Take the leap, you know, even if you're scared. You could have been nervous to reach out to me, you know. So take the leap. And it's always good to hear people who have been through the footsteps, who've been in the shoes. Everybody here has their experience, has their story. Christina and Matt were able to share theirs, so that makes, you know, all of us feel more comfortable in the moves we make and the future moves that we want to make. So this was a great show.
Great show. And you know, Nation, we talked about it yesterday, and I'll say it again here today. We're always scared of fear and failure, thinking that it's going to be fear and failure. But what happens if it wasn't or isn't? What happens if you succeed? Think about that. So as Marty said, walk towards the fear. As Christina said, walk towards that fear. You know, our natural reaction is, I'm going to fail at this and I'm scared of it. Well, think about what could happen if you actually do succeed. So we're going to leave you with that to leave the show here today. Biggar, thanks for jumping in, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate seeing you in the feeds. Nation, you can find Matt Biggar on LinkedIn. Matthew Biggar. I think is it Matt or Matthew Biggar?
Matthew for LinkedIn.
Yeah, Matthew Biggar on LinkedIn. Where else can they find you, pal?
LinkedIn. I'm not on YouTube yet. I'm planning my return. I'm not ready.
There you go. And you can find Christina Flynn over on LinkedIn as well. I think it's Christina with a K. And of course, you can always find myself, John Anderson, and See Marty Fit on LinkedIn. And you find John Anderson, the John Anderson on Instagram, and See Marty Fit on Instagram. And we'll be back here tomorrow, guys. Back here tomorrow. The big show, putting it together. Brooke Swadar has a big announcement tomorrow. And she's like, hey, guys, can I come make the announcement on your show? And Marty and John.
Let's go.
She always brings lots of viewers. I'm like, yeah, you come to our show. You come to the show. So Brooke Swadar's got a big announcement tomorrow. We're going to drop it here. I love the fact that folks are coming. And guys, I woke up this morning from Maya in Poland. Here's kindness. She's like, Keith, I don't know how to ask this question, but how can I be on your show? I'm like, yeah, you just asked. Come on the show. So we got Maya from Poland joining the show here the next couple of weeks, which is going to be exceptional.
No Polish jokes.
We won't. No, we're going to leave the jokes for Johnny, Marty.
No Polish jokes.
The jokes. I love it. Yeah, got three guys.
That's it. And then, of course, the real deal jumps in with the unknown is the prize. You're right, unknown. Go without the fear. And then tomorrow on the back half of the show, tomorrow's going to be a little bit longer, different kind of show because I'm going to work with my friends over on the West Coast. John Kraske is going to join the show tomorrow morning at around this time with Ted Mertz, who's a former Bloomberg writer who writes content on LinkedIn. Ted did a big piece on Kraske. Ted and myself, John, Marty, whoever's around the show tomorrow are going to sit down with Kraske. We're going to get into a longer conversation about Kraske, the LinkedIn stuff, maybe some LinkedIn pod juice monsters, all that junk and garbage. That's tomorrow's show. It's tomorrow live in the lab, 8 o'clock Eastern time, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, all over the planet. That is it, man. We're getting out of here. We got stuff to do. John, you got a big lift today. You took the day off yesterday. What do you got today?
I'll be honest, brother. I got to take a piss.
Okay, we'll see you later. Get out of here. Anderson's getting out of here. We'll see you later, pal. We'll see you all later, guys. See you, Nation. Oh, where's my music? No, not that one. No, not that one either. That one.